Alright, so today I wanted to do kind of a follow-up video to the Resistance video a couple days ago that I made about the game possibly going free-to-play and with a kind of Battle Pass system and standalone at some point in this year, maybe. There's a lot of kind of like fan theory and speculation about it at the minute, with things being internally changed on the developer side of the game, like internal updates are being pushed out and tested. So there is obviously potential that there is something happening or something changing, or it could just be nothing, but a lot of people have kind of been saying the game could be going free to play and standalone after the release of Reverse, which is any minute now, like it's any day. So I would like kind of continue on that kind of topic and go with what they could add to the game in more detail, and looking around and seeing what people want to see. It's really interesting to kind of get all these ideas and kind of bring them all together. So yeah, what we're going to do is jump into some ideas people have and some of my own personal ones. If you have any more that you want to see with the game, if you still actively play the game, which a lot of people do, there is a big fan base around the game still. Especially on PlayStation, I'm not too sure how the support is on other consoles and PC, but PlayStation I'd get games like in a minute or two, so it's still definitely a played game. And like I said in the other video, like I see people range from like level 200s to level like 1s to 10s. It does vary, so people do definitely pick up the game and still play it, so it makes more sense to kind of like just keep supporting it in some way rather than just letting it be, essentially. So yeah, let's jump into some ideas and see what people have to say. Alright, so first up, this is going to be like the Battle Pass kind of like idea people have, and it's very, very easy to flesh out a Battle Pass in this game. If you played it enough already, you'll know that there's a lot of cosmetics. There is skins for the survivors, there is skins for the enemies you can spawn in, there's Masterminds, like the zombies have skins and stuff like that. There is melee weapon skins, weapon camos, emotes, and tags like sprays on the walls. And yeah, that's a lot of varying cosmetic stuff. There's not really as much now to get, like you kind of like they added it in waves, and then once you got it, that was it. Like it was doing protected stuff, but having a way to kind of like monetize that would be cool. I'm sure people would definitely get a Battle Pass for this game if it did exist. And the things you could see in it, obviously, again, skins for any of the survivors, skins for any of the zombies, weapon camos, sprays, emotes, all that kind of stuff. And there's also obviously gil exists in this game. You could also like make it like a level 100. Like obviously if you play the game with any Battle Pass in it, you'll know that the last thing you unlock is kind of like the super mega rare thing. And Jill's been already an iconic character, so you could give her an alternate skin that's from like a different game, because I believe her default in this game is the 3 remake version, but then you could obviously add like the original 3 version, or even the Resident Evil 5 version. Any other variation of her in a different game would be probably a pretty good skin that people want to go for. So that is an idea, of course, and I kind of agree with it. Like it's a good way to kind of monetize free-to-play games. Look at the success of like Warzone, Apex, and stuff like that. Battle Passes sell, they make money, and I'm sure the player base in this game wouldn't mind it either, because it's not exactly pay to win, because it's all cosmetic stuff. There isn't really any pay to win in this game, because every single bit of content that was released that was like game changing was free anyway. So no harm done if you pay for a Battle Pass and not in this game. So it's definitely an idea that would really be implemented quite well, I would think. Next up, this is the survivor side of things. Adding new survivors, whether that is non-canon or canon characters, I mean. It could be, Resident Evil Resistance has a lot of kind of like its own made characters. Obviously you got like January, and I don't remember the names. I just remember the one that I played the most. But they have their own characters, and the game's not canon. They've already said that. Like this is not a thing that should be taken as part of the story, because it's not. It's just a separate thing, which gives them like so much creative freedom with it. Like Jill's in the game, obviously, because I believe it was because it was packaged with 3, and then Nicola was in it as well as a Mastermind. But Survivor side, you could add anyone you wanted to add. Like you could add Leon, you could add Claire, you could add Chris, any other character, Rebecca Chambers, like any other character from the series you could add into this game, and it wouldn't affect anything in the story because it's not a canon game. I would love to see other characters in the game, because obviously each playable survivor has their own unique abilities. I think Jill's more of a firearms expert and stuff like that, but then you could add like Rebecca, for example, who is more of a, I believe she was on Stars, she was like a medic, because I think in her default skin for Resident Evil 0 she had like the medic band on her arm, That could be implemented in as like a medic healer class, because there is already a healer light in the game. I believe it's Valerie. I think that's the name. But you know, there could definitely be variations of that, and what better place to put it? And then obviously other characters, you know, like let's go for Leon. He was a police officer, and then he moved to Secret Service. He could be like one of those locator ones, you know, where they find the objectives really easy and are able to like deal with cameras and such. I don't know, I'm just winging it there, but there's definitely ways they could add in a lot of the iconic characters from the series into the game if they wanted to. And that goes for both sides, so we'll jump over to Mastermind now, because there is a very interesting one I've seen all over the place since this whole free-to-play theory has come up, and it's very interesting to see what they could do with it. So yeah, Masterminds. Again, most of who are in the game are iconic characters, you know who they are. I personally played Annette the most, and then probably Alex and Wesker after that, I believe. I was really good at her. You didn't really see her off near, which made it good. But obviously Nikolai's in it from 3. And again, yeah, there's a lot of creative freedom. One I personally thought of was Salazar from Resident Evil 4. I know it doesn't really fit the tone of that game, but again, not canon, they could do what they wanted to. Salazar's the Mastermind, and then obviously the village chief guy, I don't remember his name, could be your bioweapon, or it could be Krauser, that's the one, like with this like mutated arm. Well, that could be cool. And then obviously the zombies would be replaced by the Ganados, you know, like the villagers. Where it could be something like the normal, could be chainsaw guy, could be the ones with like the parasite coming out of their head, like this, and regenerators. They could all be added into this game as enemy spawns, and it would be super cool to see. One that a lot of people do kind of want to see personally is Wesker as a Mastermind. And there's 2 ways I believe you could go with him as a Mastermind. Or it could be normal Wesker, a normal Stars Wesker in the first game, with very limited power. And he could send out like the original Tyrant to come and get you as his bioweapon, and then obviously, you know, his enemies just normal zombies, but then he has some kind of way to influence them, kind of like how Annette does in the game, you know, where she kind of like mutates the zombies and gives them buffs. Obviously that's what kind of his plan was in his arc of the game. Or you could go for a more recent approach, and it could be like Neo Wesker, where maybe he's the Mastermind and his bioweapon is Ouroboros, and it's a bunch of enemy types from Resident Evil 5. Again, kind of the same as the 4 enemies, because there's not really many variations apart from a couple of more mutated enemies. Or it could again be Neo Wesker, but his bioweapon could be himself. He could literally go, you know what, I'm sick of this, I'm going down there myself, and he could like sprint, well not sprint around the map, but he could have like super good reflex, like his abilities around the map, if you know what I'm saying. Like that would be super duper cool to see. But yeah, there's a lot of variation between survivors and masterminds, there's a lot of creative freedom, and there's really no end to what they could do. I quite like my Salazar idea, I think it's pretty good. Sadler idea, I don't know if I've been saying Sadler the whole time or not, but you know what I mean. Then again, even Salazar, you know, the little guy, he could be the mastermind too. Yeah, a lot of creative freedom, so they really have no end possibilities with this. And then finally, this is something that I do really want to see in this game if they continue to support, and that is maps based on maps and locations from the mainline series. This is a lot more prominent in Umbrella Corps, if you remember that game. I do quite a few videos on it, so be sure to check those out if you haven't already. But the maps in that game are kind of small areas from actual mainline games. Like for example, there is the first village area from Resident Evil 4. There is like the China like marketplace from Resident Evil 6. There is Antarctic Base from Code Veronica. There is Raccoon City from like 1, 2, or 3. It doesn't really matter which one you pick there. But a lot of the maps in that game are set in the universe, in areas in the games, and that is not a thing you really see much in this game. So they could really kind of like really enforce that and make really cool maps set in well-known areas of the series already. And again, no end to what they could do, because again, it isn't canon. Like, you have complete freedom in that regard. It's awesome. I would love to see what they do messing around with it. Again, if the leading ideas are true and the game does continue to get support soon. But that's going to do it. That's kind of like a brief rundown of what people want to see and what could be seen and what could be done. I've kind of threw my own ideas in there as well, but it's still super exciting to see this kind of stuff. I'm really looking forward to if it does happen to have some kind of actual proof to this and they do kind of support it, because the game is good. As I mentioned in the video yesterday about Reverse, I do kind of prefer Reverse to this, because it just kind of feels better to play. Not that this is bad, like I really enjoy this, but in terms of how I would play, Reverse kind of sticks out for me. And we'll be doing the same time of video on that tomorrow, because that's not even out yet, but I already have so many ideas I could do with that game that I'd love to see for future content, because I'd imagine the game's going to get some kind of support just like this did, or still will. So it's super exciting to see, and I'm going to leave you with that. So let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know what you want to see in the game, if it does still get support, or let me know if you agree with what I said or not. Thank you for watching, and thanks to you for the support lately. It's been ridiculous. Like, I don't know where you all came from, but I appreciate the hell out of you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.